Maurice Ramsey harvests amaranth on a farm he rents near Brooklyn, Connecticut. A native of Jamaica, Maurice grows the plant for the Caribbean population living in the region, which is unable to find much of the produce it needs for Caribbean cooking.
It just didn't have enough variety for as far as the stuff I'm used to back home. And the stuff that I could get, I wasn't pleased with the quality. So I decided I was going to grow my own.
Ramsey has spent a career in the food industry and currently manages a fast food chain restaurant. The opportunity to fill a produce niche began a search for a farm. But finding ground to rent was the biggest hurdle to his start in agriculture. To work this farm requires a 45-minute commute each way.
Land is a lot more expensive in Connecticut. I was working and I thought I wouldn't be able to farm. But something just told me not to give up. I kept trying. And then I was searching for land online all the time. I found this website called FarmLink.
FarmLink is an online tool from Connecticut Farmland Trust, which matched Ramsey to a farm with high tunnels for rent. FarmLink assists farmers who are looking for land and matches their agricultural interest with landowners. Over 70% of seekers who rent through FarmLink are considered beginning farmers.
When I saw a greenhouse, I got a little bit excited because I'm growing tropical plants, you know. So I gave her a call, and she told me to come up and take a look at the farm. I came up, and I took a look at the farm. I thought she was an awesome lady. She was really kind. The rest is history. I told her that I wanted it, and she said, let's go for it.
Sandy Broder and her husband had built the tunnels to raise vegetables, but were ready to step back from that side of their operation.
A lot of farmers around here are getting too old to continue farming. So do you sell your house and your farm to a development or something, or do you want to keep it in a farm? And if you do, how can you do that? Well, Farm Trust is a great help because we've got 125 acres here, and when we're not doing hay anymore, we want to be able to keep it as a farm.
USDA data shows that less than 10% of the state of Connecticut is farmland, and only half of that measure gets harvested every year. The 122,000 acres in production are a scarce resource in the state. Plots of 10 to 40 acres, the size of a typical operation in the state, can be hard to match with renters looking for ground. Connecticut FarmLink helps make the match between landowners and new farmers by bridging the needs of the potential renter with the wishes of the landowner.
This is the first time in our nation's history that the majority of landowners are more than 2 generations from a farm. So they don't know what they don't know. So, and in some cases, they don't even have the vocabulary to have a discussion with a farm seeker. So in some cases, we can act as that translator.
The organization also assists landowners in creating a trust so they can pass ownership on to future generations. After 2 decades of pairing landowners and farmers, experience has taught CFT officials how to ensure the legal instructions for the property are kept open to the largest number of potential uses. Lily Orr manages the FarmLink program, as well as the group's easement and trust programs.
A lot of it is about, if you're a seeker, it's what your desires and what your needs and what your goals are for your farm. Whereas if you're a farmland owner, it's explaining your farm operation or the potential or the history of agriculture on your land. So a lot of people don't know how to put that stuff into words.
So their ability to really even assess a piece of property to know its suitability for different kinds of agriculture, let alone try to figure out whether a farm seeker has the knowledge and has the right kind of business that's going to be a good match with their property.
Connecticut also has the highest percentage of beginning farmers over the age of 45. Maurice Ramsey falls into that category, and the 2 acres of land he can afford have him farming only part-time. The niche quality of Caribbean crops has resulted in growing demand for produce like amaranth and Scotch peppers. Ramsey serves grocery stores and restaurants in both Connecticut and New York City.
Right now, my customers are the Caribbean community, I would say, for the most part. But it is growing. It is becoming a little bit more mainstream as people are trying to eat healthier. They're looking for other options. And the cuisine is also catching on.
As his second season on the Broder farm winds down, Ramsey sees full-time farming on the horizon. The Broders are happy to have the high tunnels being used and a new generation working in agriculture.
I didn't want those things sitting out there idle, and this way I'm able to give something back to somebody else too. So it's a good thing.
And after a while, you start liking the smell of the dirt. You start missing it. It's weird. I mean, you know, how do you explain? How do you say that to the average person? Sometimes I miss the smell of dirt. You know.
From Market to Market, I'm Peter Tubbs.